I want to tell you guys the full story about what happened yesterday. And yesterday was a really crazy day for me. I'm sure you guys saw yesterday's video that was called I Might Be Going to Jail. And the first thing that I want to say about that is I'm pretty embarrassed about the way that I reacted yesterday. And I'm also scared at the same time because for a person like me or anybody else who has spent a good majority of their life in and out of jails and prison, yesterday only further proved just how easily everything can get twisted and messed up again, no matter how far separated you are from the BS of your past. Yesterday, I reacted without thinking, and that situation could have turned out very bad for me. And to just update you guys, I have not been arrested yet, even though the police did tell me yesterday that the people who were involved in this situation, who first started this entire situation, were trying to put charges on me. So even though I haven't been arrested yet, there's still the possibility that could happen. However, I doubt that very seriously because there's nothing that I feel like they could really charge me with. My wife called me crying, upset, saying that these people came in there and were threatening her, were leaning all over her desk, making her feel in fear for her life. And I reacted just like that. I jumped in my truck, drove straight up to the office where the police were outside talking to these people, this man and this woman who were both in my wife's office in this threatening manner. And when I jumped out of that truck, I swear to God, I wish I could have the police surveillance footage of that situation because I know I jumped out there and the way them cops looked at me, they knew I was up there looking for some answers. And if I can't get my hands on that police footage, I really would like to see the footage that the woman in question in this entire situation captured as she was filming me jumping out of my truck looking for those answers. And I guess it was with that footage that she filmed that she thought she was going to be able to take that to the magistrate, or maybe she still thinks that she will be able to, and somehow get me charged with what? Jumping out of my truck in a hostile manner, looking for answers from a situation that you and this dude caused from the very beginning. This was all y'all's fault. I'm still very heated about this situation, but even with that, I have to admit to you guys, I'm scared, and I am also super embarrassed by this as well. I didn't even sleep last night. I tossed and turned all night long thinking about this situation and thinking about the many different ways and outcomes that could have came from this situation that thankfully didn't. And sad enough as it is to admit, it's not that I'm so scared of getting locked up. It's that I'm scared that if I do get locked up, then I've jeopardized and basically become like the biggest hypocrite to everything that I stand for here with After Prison Show. And I guess another thing that really scares me about this entire situation is what yesterday proved to me was just how quickly everything can go from good to bad just like that. Just with reacting to a situation without thinking about it first. And to be honest with you guys, if I was to think about doing it over, if I had a chance to do it over again, I probably would react the same type of way. And to a certain degree, that's kind of embarrassing. I also want to thank all of you for all of the support throughout this situation. I hate drama, and that is exactly what yesterday was. It was nothing more than some drama. But what I want to do today is I want to give you guys the full story of what happened yesterday because as I filmed yesterday's video talking about I might be going to jail, I didn't even know the full story then. All I knew were the little bit of things that my wife was telling me over the phone as she was crying. I didn't get the full story until last night. And when I heard the full story, this just enhanced my anger that much more. But when I was filming yesterday's video and first beginning to tell you guys the story of what happened, I said that this all stemmed from an argument in the parking lot between this man and this woman. I don't know where I got that from, but that wasn't the case. This entire situation stemmed from an ongoing dispute between the guy in this situation, who doesn't even live here and who is just a guest of the woman who does live here. But supposedly, since this guy has come around, all he's done is cause problems. He's got this little piece of shit car that he must think is something special. And there's been a couple of different situations involving him driving this thing like a madman through the parking lot. One time almost hitting a resident. Another time almost hitting a car backing up out of a parking spot. And then him and then whoever was driving that car got into this heated argument right there in the parking lot. And then finally, what would end up happening yesterday, this guy driving his car so erratically, my wife tells me that he was driving at full speed in reverse through the gate, out of the complex, then back into the complex, not only almost hitting the gates, but also almost hitting another car that was waiting to get through the gate. It was at that point where my wife went outside and began to speak to this guy, telling him, hey, look, man, you cannot be driving that car like that in this parking lot. You've almost hit somebody 3 times. And it was at that point where this guy got out of the car and began to absolutely berate my wife with nothing but cuss words, telling my wife that she wasn't gonna do nothing. Who was she? Was she trying to do something? Basically getting as hostile as one could possibly get. My wife immediately backing down, telling this guy, hey, look, I'm just telling you, you can't drive like that. That's the end of the discussion. She went back in her office, and not 5 minutes later, here comes the woman into her office, basically threatening her, saying, are you trying to do something? You wanna do something? Jumping over my wife's desk, saying, you ain't gonna do nothing. What are you gonna do? You wanna do something? And the man standing there the entire time, basically yeasting up the situation, cussing at my wife the same. And again, this entire situation put my wife in absolute fear for her life. These people wouldn't leave my wife's office. She called 911, and what 911 said to her was, did anybody hit you? Did they threaten to kill you? Did you see a weapon? And my wife answered all three of those questions honestly, saying no to all three questions. So this situation would go from emergency to non-emergency, but the police would still show up in a very timely manner. However, when the police showed up, and it was around this time when I would also get word of this situation and show up myself, the police basically told my wife that there wasn't anything that they could do because nobody hit her, nobody threatened to kill her, and she didn't see a weapon. And then my wife would also later tell me, as I pulled up and one of the cops was inside speaking to her and the other cops were out there speaking to these people, oh, who is this? Is this your husband? Oh, well, he's just gonna come up here and make this situation even worse. And you know what? I don't care how I made that situation, to be honest with you. When my wife called me crying and told me what was going on, I absolutely reacted. That probably wasn't the smartest thing to do. But like I said at the beginning of this video, if I had the opportunity to do this all over again, I would do the exact same thing. When I rolled up there as quickly as I possibly could, jumped out of my vehicle, and watched both of these cops' eyes get all bug-eyed, and immediately began screaming at me as I'm walking through the gate, telling me, sir, stay back, get back in your vehicle, and I'm telling them the whole time, I want answers. My wife was just threatened at her workplace by these people. What are y'all doing about this situation? Sir, get back, get back. And I did. You know, my wife told me later that she was so scared that these police might actually try to shoot me. And that's a really crazy thing to think about. Again, as I sat back and watched this, I'm staring dead at this dude. I'm staring dead at him. I'm 50 yards away from him, but I can see him trying to look me down. And after hearing about how this whole story played out from the very beginning, with the words that he was exchanging with this other person, this guy must really think that he's just some type of a tough guy. And maybe he is. But the entire time that I'm just sitting there staring dead at this dude, he's looking at me, waving his hands all around, and what I can't hear exactly what this guy's saying. I know he's getting loud, he's getting aggressive. The police aren't doing anything. Boy, cops, what is your job at? I mean, y'all didn't do nothing in this situation. Yesterday, I shouted you guys out so much, but now in hindsight, I'm like, damn, y'all ain't do nothing about this situation. You just let this man just scream all in your face, pointing and waving and being all hostile and like. And I don't know who he was trying to intimidate more, the police or me, but there was no intimidation that I was feeling whatsoever. I'm so mad about this situation. I'm so disgusted with myself at the same time because I know I shouldn't have reacted the way that I did, driving up there, adding to this situation. Who knows? Maybe this guy sees me and he wants to fight me. I honestly don't care. But I did react. I did drive up there. And as I think about this whole situation, I think to myself, like, what did these people honestly think was going to come from this situation? This man and this woman who went into my wife's office and did what they did. You know, some people must have no concept of respect or how to really carry themselves, or must think that they can just do whatever they want to do and ain't nothing going to come from that. They're not wrong at all. And as much as I know that what I did yesterday was probably the worst thing I could have ever done, reacted without thinking, as much as I know that that was not the right thing to do, I can't take back the fact that I did do that. And I also can't take back the fact that this situation could be far from over. Who's to say how this thing plays out if these people really do follow through with trying to put these charges on me, and all it takes is for you to go down to the magistrate and say anything. I mean, people lie all the time at the magistrate's office. I've had it happen to me in the past, so I know that it's a very good possibility that it could happen. But these people caused this situation. They were dead wrong in this situation. And yet, because of the fact that I showed up, I was like the get out of jail free card right there. Oh, look at him. Look at him showing up. I like to believe that a lot of people would have reacted the exact same way that I reacted, even if I do feel to a certain degree that it was embarrassing of me. I've got way too much to lose at this point. I've created something amazing, not only through AfterPrisonShow, but this cleaning service, buying a house. I mean, my life is amazing right now. And it is such a scary thought to think that just like that, it could all go away by reacting instead of thinking first. And if I did, I just want to throw this out there. If I did think and then decide not to react, I don't think I'd ever be able to live with myself because of that. There are a lot of times where I feel like I'm a very weak individual. Maybe by me reacting to the situation the way that I did, just driving up there hoping to get some answers, maybe that was super weak. Maybe I should have just said, okay, let's let the police do their job. But I know damn well, had I not done anything in that situation, had I just not shown up, oh, okay, the police are up there. Wow, these people just threatened you, and it doesn't seem like the police are going to do anything about that. Yeah, I'm just going to stay in the house. I know I'd have been feeling weak about that. Yesterday was a lose-lose situation all the way around the board. I reacted without thinking. That could have led to me getting locked up, still could lead to me getting locked up. My wife was threatened at her workplace. I mean, just degraded, and nothing was done about that. You've got a person jumping over your desk, ready to hit you. Not once, but twice. And there's video surveillance of that. And nothing was done about that situation. The police said, we can't do anything. There's nothing we could charge her with. And these people also get to stay here. Lose-lose. I'm sure I'm going to see this guy at some point. I'm sure he's going to try to have some words with me as well. And I honestly don't know how that situation is going to play out. I got to be the big man. I got to be the guy to just say, hey, look, man, it is what it is. You got it. And I hate thinking that that's the way that I'm going to have to react to that situation. Because you know why? Because I'm going to be the one who ends up going to jail. And as if all of this isn't bad enough, you know, this woman actually had the audacity to try to call my wife's boss and get my wife fired for this situation. I could have and still could end up getting locked up for this. My wife could end up losing her job behind this situation. And these people do whatever they want to do and come out of this situation basically unscathed. In fact, the thing that made me the maddest last night as my wife was telling me this full story that I felt I absolutely have to share with all of you, felt like you deserve to hear this full story. The thing that made me the absolute maddest overall was the fact that my wife said, you know, they won. They won. So maybe that's it. They won. This is not the first time that my wife's had to deal with situations like this. This is not the first time that she's told me about somebody coming into her office and, you know, screaming at her or saying all sorts of horrible things. This is the first time where, you know, she's felt threatened to the point where it's probably imminent that hands are about to be placed on her, that somebody's going to try to put hands on my wife. And this is also the first time that I've ever really reacted to a situation like this. And even though I've said multiple times throughout this video, if I had a chance to do it all over again, I would do the same thing. And I stand by that. But at the same time as me saying that, I also know that I'm saying the absolute wrong thing. There's going to be times in your life where you were tested. This is not the first time I've been tested. This is probably, it's probably happened a handful of times. And these are going to be times where you feel like you were so disrespected, where you feel like a response or a reaction is absolutely necessary. You're not going to be thinking about anything else. All you're going to be thinking about is that response and that reaction. I feel like a hypocrite in this situation. As much as I preach about doing the right thing, getting out of prison, or overcoming obstacles in your life to live a better life. And here I find myself in a situation where it all could have just been gone like that yesterday. And even though I'm not sure if this situation is over or not yet, I highly doubt that it is. I'm trying to learn something from this. Accept the fact that I know I am weak. Accept the fact that I probably got a major anger problem. Try to grow from this situation. Try to do it better the next time. If I find myself in a situation like this again, I'm quite sure that I will. No matter where you are in life, you're going to deal with things that could potentially cause you to do the wrong thing. And what I did yesterday, as much as it pains me to say it, as embarrassing as this entire situation has been for me, I know I damn near did the wrong thing. I know I did the wrong thing. I probably should have just left well enough alone and stayed out of it. But it is what it is, and I can't change what I've done. And I just wanted to share the full story with you guys and give you guys an update about all of this. And try to learn from this situation. I apologize to all of you. I feel like I've let all of you down. I reacted in an immature manner. I should be better than that. But the truth of the matter is I'm not. But I will try to learn from this situation no matter if it's over or if it's not over. And if I find myself in another situation similar to this, I will definitely think before reacting. Because as of right now, I'm blessed that this is the outcome. But as I tossed and turned and thought about this all night long, I realized that the outcome could have been far different than it's been thus far.